Right, solutions for Jan 2023, question 1. Right, by rounding each number in the expression to one significant figure, estimate the value of the following. Right, so you need to round each number firstly before we go and work it out, right? So the one significant figure. So a quick recap on the difference between significant figures and decimal places. So here we have 8.025, right? If you look at this number, when you consider decimal places, you check how much places after the point. So in this case, you have your first decimal place would be 0, second decimal place is 2, third decimal place is 5. If you're considering significant figures is your first non-zero number. So in this case, your first significant figure is going to be 8. Second significant figure will be 0, third 2, fourth 5. Right, so that is a little bit of difference between significant figures and decimal places. Decimal places is checked after the decimal point. Significant figures is checked first non-zero number. When I say non-zero number, if I have a number looking like this, our first decimal place going to be this 0 here, because it's the first place after the decimal point. Second decimal place will be this, the second 0. Third decimal place will be the 2, and so on, right? So decimal places we check in after the point. However, your first significant figure going to be the first non-zero number. So this is a 0, 0, 0. So our first significant figure going to be the 2. Second significant figure will be the 3. And third significant figure will be the 4. Alright, so that is the difference between significant figures and decimal places. Now, if we need to round a number to a significant figure or a particular decimal place, right, what we would do if we want this number to one significant figure, the first significant figure here is 8, so that means that is the only number we want. So we could draw a line after the 8 is 0. So once this is less than 5, we do not add 1 to this 8, so this remains as 8. If this was less than 5, then we would add 1 to the 8 to make it 9. So if I wanted this number to 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, then we'll draw a line here. This is 5 and more, so we would add the 1 to the 2. So this, in this case, this will become 8.03, right? Okay, so let me see how we could apply that to this question. So we want to round each number in the expression to one significant figure. So 108. So 108 rounding to one significant figure. This is your first significant figure. So you draw a line here. This is less than 5, so we don't add anything to this. So this will become 100. 19.72 to one significant figure. First significant figure is here. We draw a line. This is 5 or more, so we add 1 to the 1, so that will become 2, and the rest is zeros. We do the same thing to this number here, 5.296. First significant figure is less than 5, we draw a line. This is less than 5, so we do add 1, so this remains as 5.000. Right, we could ignore these zeros after the decimal point, they have no value. We cannot ignore these two zeros. These two zeros make this number 100, right? Right, so this now becomes square root of 100 over 20 plus 5. Square root of 100 is 10 over 20 plus 5 is 25. We could reduce this some more. 5 into 10 is 2, 5 into 25 is 5, or you could just use a calculator. So your answer will be 2/5, or 2/5 as a decimal is 0.4. Right? That's the first question there. Part 2, find the exact. So they're using the word exact here, so we don't want any recurring decimals, we want an exact answer. 3 and 3/8 divide by 5 12 plus 1/3. Give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So let's say mixed number, right? 3 marks. Nowhere in this question is a with use of calculator. So I would show working here to make sure I give you 3 marks. Right, so first up, you would convert this mixed number into a proper fraction. 8 by 3 is at 24. 24 plus 3 is 27. So this becomes 27 over 8. Divide. Then this in brackets would be 5 over 12 plus a third. Right, so two things we could do here. You could actually use your calculator to work out this and then write the answer in the next line. So you're still showing them the steps, right? Or we could do it the long way, which is to show all our working. So to work out this, I need to find LCM, which will be 12. 12 into 12, 1, that will become by 5. 3 into 12, 4. You multiply up there by 4, that will become 4. So now we get 27 over 8 divided by 5 and 4, 9 over 12. When we divide in a fraction, we change the division to multiplication and we flip. Or again, you could use a calculator and work it out at this point. 27 over 8, multiply, we flip this around, and then we can start to reduce here now. 9 into 9, 1, 9 into 27, 3, 4 into 8, 2, 4 into 12, 3. 3 3s are 9 over 2. Right, so they say mixed number, so then we need to change this to a mixed number, which is 4.5. Right, so our answer here will be 4.5. Right, let's see what's up next. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of available seats in a hall was reduced from 125 to 93. Calculate the percent decrease in the number of available seats. Right. So a little formula to remember here. They like to ask this question, right? Percent increase or decrease will equal to the amount it was increased. Actually, make this easier. The amount increased or decreased by over the original amount and then multiply that by 100. Okay, so that's fit in there. This one. Right, so our percent increase or decrease is given by the amount increased or decreased, depending on which one they're asking, by over the original multiplied by 100. Right, so in this question was, it tell it reduce. So if it reduce, that means it decrease. So then that will be 125 take away 93 to see how much it decreased by over the original. The original is how much I have in the beginning, which is 125. And then multiply that by 100, and that will give us 25.6%. Right? Right, last part of the question here. Micah invests a certain amount of money in a bank that pays compound interest at a rate of 2.5% per annum. At the end of 2 years, the value of investment is 75, 64, 50. So they said the value of her investment at the end of 2 years. So therefore, this is what the money is going to end up being after the 2 years, right? Calculate the amount Micah invests. Compound interest, right? So we have a compound interest formula here. They give us what everything is. A is the total amount after n years. So this is how much it's going to be in the future. P is the principal or your original value. This is how much at the beginning. 1 plus R over 100. R is your rate of interest per annum. And N is your number of years. Right, so let me plug in the information in this formula. A is the total amount after n years. So after n years, in this question, after 2 years, the total amount was 75, 64, 50. 75, 64, 50 is equal to P, which is the original amount. Calculate the amount Micah invests. So you want to find out how much we invested. So therefore that is P. We don't know what that is that we're going to find. 1 plus R is our rate, 2.5 over 100. And N is the number of years, that is 2 years. Right, so let me simplify this. 75, 64.5 is equal to P. Bracket is the same as multiply. 1 plus 2.5 over 100. That is 1.025. And I'll leave the squared here just to simplify it. Right, so to find P, this is multiply, we bring this across and divide. So therefore we could say P is equal to 75, 64, 50 divided by 1.025 squared, and that will give us $7,200. So therefore Micah invested $7,200. Right, that was the end of this question. Right, so that's the end of question 1, January 2023.